Picture this. You're a young Xfinity Series driver. You've trained for years. You've won races. You think you're ready for the big leagues. And then, Kyle Larson shows up and laps you by 10 seconds. That's exactly what's been happening in NASCAR's lower series. And now, NASCAR just made a rule change that's going to make it happen even more. Today, we're breaking down one of the biggest rule shifts in NASCAR in years. What changed, why it changed, who wins, who loses, and what it means for the future of the sport. Stay with me. This is a deep dive. First, let's understand what the rule was, because without that, the change means nothing. NASCAR limited Cup Series drivers with more than 3 years of experience to just 5 starts in each lower series every year, and those races had to happen before the playoffs got underway. Why did this rule exist? Simple. NASCAR didn't want its biggest stars, your Kyle Larsons, your Denny Hamlins, coming down to the Xfinity or Truck Series and dominating every single race. They wanted young drivers to have a fair shot at winning, building their profiles, attracting sponsors. The sanctioning body reduced the number of allowed Xfinity appearances from 7 to 5, starting with the 2020 season, specifically to stop big-name Cup stars from controlling championship-deciding events. On paper, smart. In reality, it created a different kind of problem. And that's where our story really begins. Here's something nobody talks about enough. The talent gap between Cup drivers and Xfinity drivers is massive, and it's getting wider. Kyle Larson said something that sent shockwaves through the NASCAR community earlier this year. He didn't hold back at all. Larson said he gets motivated racing in Xfinity because he wants to embarrass the young drivers, and NASCAR itself, because the kids think they're in a good spot, but they don't know where the bar really is. He said he likes getting 10-second leads to show them how much room they have to improve. Now that sounds harsh, but is he wrong? Look at Ty Gibbs. At 19 years old, he was an Xfinity champion, 7 wins in a single season. He looked unstoppable. Since becoming a full-time Cup driver for Joe Gibbs Racing, Gibbs hasn't recorded a single win across 109 races. That's not a knock on Ty Gibbs. That's proof of how different the two levels are. And that gap? It's exactly why NASCAR decided to change the rules. Okay, so here's the big news. NASCAR has officially confirmed a major change starting in 2026. Cup Series drivers with more than 3 years of full-time experience will now be allowed to enter a maximum of 10 races in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. That's the new name for the Xfinity Series in 2026. That's up from the previous 5-race limit. In the Truck Series, Cup drivers will be eligible to enter a maximum of 8 races, also up from 5. So they literally doubled the opportunity for Cup drivers to come down and race. But NASCAR kept some guardrails in place. Cup drivers remain ineligible to compete in the regular season finale and postseason races in both series. So the playoffs stay protected for the younger drivers. But the regular season? That's now wide open. And here's what NASCAR's own Director of Racing Operations said about it. Megan Miley, NASCAR's Managing Director of Racing Operations, said they look at eligibility requirements every year and felt that expanding them could benefit both competition and marketing, noting that drivers love competing with top talent and that it's good from a broadcast and track perspective as well. Let's break down the winners here. Winner number 1, the fans. More Kyle Larson, more Denny Hamlin, more star power in Xfinity and truck races. Ticket sales go up. TV ratings go up. Simple. Winner number 2, young, developing drivers. Prospects like Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, Corey Day, Jesse Love, and Christian Eckes could learn directly from the best drivers in the sport by racing against them more often. You can't replace that education. Racing against Larson for 10 laps teaches you more than 100 laps alone ever could. Winner number 3, tracks and broadcasters. Cup-level names in lower series races means more eyes, more sponsors, more money flowing through the whole ecosystem. Now, let's be honest, not everyone is happy. One Xfinity Series team owner told Racer he was frustrated by the decision, saying he feels it hurts the overall identity of the Xfinity Series. And that's a fair point. If your series starts feeling like a Cup Series B team, sponsors might value it less. Young drivers might get overlooked. The Xfinity Championship could feel less meaningful if Cup drivers are dominating half the season. There's also the qualifying issue. More Cup drivers entering races means fewer spots for regular Xfinity drivers. That directly impacts someone's livelihood. This is the tension at the heart of this debate. Star power versus opportunity for the next generation. Here's my take. NASCAR is making a calculated bet. They're saying short-term excitement and bigger audiences now is worth the risk of diluting the lower series. And honestly, with NASCAR's new TV deals, new international races, and a push for younger fans, this move makes sense from a business perspective. The sport needs stars, and stars need to race. More. Often. Everywhere. Whether it's good for the soul of the sport, that's a debate worth having. And I want to hear your take in the comments. So, there you have it. NASCAR's biggest eligibility rule change in years, broken down from every angle. The old rule, the new rule, the winners, the losers, and what it means for where this sport is headed. If you found this video useful, drop a like. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this every week, and comment below. Do you think this rule change is good or bad for NASCAR?